This is a WKYT podcast.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to a special outside edition of Conversations. Andrea, how you doing?
I'm okay.
All right.
As usual. We are outside
I see you.
right now.
Did you get yogurt? Oh, yep, you did. You got yogurt on the mic because you brought some food.
I always have food, and that's the grossest thing. But have you heard about this new, what is it, ASMR or whatever, where people listen to people eating?
Are you just now getting on the internet?
Yeah. You know me. I'm always kind of behind.
Yes, I have heard of ASMR. It's where people talk like this, and
Yes.
sometimes their voices.
Or they'll eat.
They'll crinkle stuff.
Ooh, it's so
Or they'll
gross.
have paper that just kind of goes like
You know
this.
who's really into it?
Who?
Cardi B.
Well, yeah, some people
Maybe so she
apparently,
can turn noises.
they say that it triggers something in their brain, and some people it helps them go to sleep.
Yeah. Do you have any sounds that you just really love?
I can't think of any sounds I really love. I know there's certain textures, if I touch them, I get real weirded out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like.
That I don't like.
I mean, I don't
See,
know if
I
I
always
have any.
like the sound of heels on concrete. I always think that sounds really good. I don't know why.
Really? That is weird. Here,
I know. I'm a weird
microphone to your
person.
mouth. There you go. That way
I'm
people
usually
can
so
hear
much
you.
louder than you. I'm trying to offset my loud voice.
We'll fix it in post.
No, we won't. Number one, we would never, and you won't.
I will slightly adjust levels.
Okay.
Depending on how fast I have to edit this. So let's see. Today we are recording this on the In and Out on a Tuesday, day after Memorial Day. Did you do anything fun on Memorial Day?
I worked.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So I've been lawnmower shopping, but it turns out my mom's getting the new one and I'm getting the hand-me-down. So
your mom was lawnmower shopping and you were just.
Well, I thought it was going to be for me originally because she and I have been like lugging it back and forth, her riding mower. So that's been really inconvenient and annoying. And we just fight constantly trying to load it into the trailer because she has to back it up and like get the hitch and everything.
Yeah, it
and
turns out if you just have one mower at your property, that's.
well, also
you
she
use.
can't hear. So she, I'll just be like, move this way. And she's like, what? So it's just a sight to see.
Honey.
Oh my gosh, we're such a mess. So she got a new mower and I got the old one.
All right. Well, you know what?
But
It's
I
new
don't
to
care.
you.
It's
Yeah.
a zero turn. It's awesome.
Oh, it's a riding.
know?
That's true. You've got a lot more property though. You need
Yeah.
a big riding one.
I'm out in the country. But I usually mow her yard too. So I'll get to use it.
How much yogurt did you get everywhere? How are you?
I don't know how I got it.
We just keep finding more.
It's everywhere. I am a child. When you're not watching Vera, you have to watch me.
I know. So we're recording outside today, back behind the station at the WKYT picnic table.
This is actually going to be really consistent because we recorded the podcast with Adam out here.
Exactly. So this is you're about to listen to an interview with Mr. Adam Burniston. We were lucky enough to catch him filling in one morning for Jim Caldwell. Although, as you pointed out, he kind of got the short shrift because we were interviewing him while I was holding my daughter.
She wasn't feeling good that day.
No, she wasn't feeling. She had to stay home from daycare with Daddy, so I had to call into work. But I had to. The night before, I'd driven a station vehicle home because it was the election, and
You were tired.
I was tired. Yeah, been down at the Herald Leader, and so that was cool doing election coverage with that. But the next day, they needed the vehicle back here.
You should have felt great
Which had
after
I-
the feedback you got online for the segment of you covering the
Yeah,
the election.
It did okay.
People like them some Victor Puente.
So normally I would just come to work the next morning, drive my vehicle in, and it'd be fine. But the little girl was sick, so then I had to bring the vehicle back, bring a sick child with me. So
Her poor head. I could feel her fever, and that just breaks my heart.
yeah, well, she'd got some vaccines. I guess 10 days before, and they basically told us they wanted us,
She'll
a
probably
week from
feel
now.
sick.
Yeah, 10 days from now, she might feel bad.
I
So that's
remember
what happened.
My meemaw used to always say, if I could take the hurt, I would. And that's what I was thinking, because I really did kind of feel that way. I was like, oh, I wish I could just take it
I don't
for
know. I looked at her. I
her.
was like, man, that's rough, kid. I don't know if I want that.
Sucks for you.
I'm just kidding.
Sucks to suck.
But she's good now, and she's just walking around. I call it
Towering over the other kids
trundling
in her
around.
class.
Yeah, she's getting ready to move up to the next level, which she's too big for the kids she's in now. But the other kids, I look at some of them and I go, well, they're way bigger than she is. But she's also, the doctor told us she was petite.
Oh, she is?
Yeah.
Well, you're not, and neither is Mandy.
Yeah, I don't quite get it. My mom's really short.
Skipped a generation.
Yeah, maybe that's where it came from. But yeah, so she's going to be doing all right. And, Mandy's obviously every milestone. She's just one step away from walking out of our lives.
Oh, my gosh. So emotional.
So that's what we got going on. And but yeah, so during this, you will hear some occasional babbles. as Vera makes her first podcast appearance.
Part of me wishes I had a kid purely for the fact that I could get out of stuff so much easier.
Oh, it's so nice.
See,
I mean,
you can
a lot of it is
always blame it
legitimate
on the
just
kid.
because, you really, it's a lot of work. I call it the production. It's like, all right, let's begin the production, taking her places. But, yeah, it's also nice to be like, I got to take care of the kid.
Yeah, because when you're young, you can blame it on your parents. Just be like, they said no, I'm sorry, I can't come. But, like, at my age, with no children, I have no excuse not to do
You got
things.
your dog.
Let's be honest, I have no life.
Yeah. Hey, you watched Iron Man. Let's talk about that.
I did. I loved
Your
it.
first Marvel movie.
Oh my gosh, it was a good one. I think that was a good first movie for sure. Robert Downey Jr. was so painfully attractive in that movie.
Did you stick around for the after credits with Samuel L. Jackson?
No,
Oh, okay. Well,
you didn't tell me. You have to
sorry.
tell me these
So that's the
things.
thing with Marvel movies, especially all of them up through Endgame. Endgame did not have one, but Marvel movies, they have this thing where after the credits are over, there's a little stinger. It's usually maybe like a minute and a half long. And in that one, Tony Stark is at home, and all of a sudden his lights kind of flicker, and in walks, because his security system gets messed with, in walks Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury. He's like, I want to talk to you about the Avengers Initiative. And that's what sets off everything.
Nice.
So that's,
Now, does Stan Lee make an appearance in every Marvel movie?
he does.
He does? Okay, well, I
Yes.
definitely saw his was pretty obvious in this one. He was Hugh Hefner.
So yeah,
Which
that's
is
something to
adorable.
look forward to. I think I'm going to have to let you borrow my Blu-ray player so you can watch the rest of
I
them.
know.
Because I did bring in a stack, and you have no way to watch them, which is something. Or maybe if I just see a cheap Blu-ray player at Bargain Hunt for like $15, I might just pick you one up.
No,
Who
don't do
knows?
that. I can find my own.
Well, but you just going to need one for life in general.
I guess. I don't. I've told you.
That's true. Maybe not. You know what? You've got by so far without it.
I know, just fine. I mean, obviously, I'm really behind. I'm only just now hearing about ASMR or whatever. Like, I just catch up to things a little later than everyone else.
How did you hear? Wait, where did the ASMR stuff come from?
So I listened to this other podcast. I don't know if anyone's seen the comedy special, The Elder Millennial, but it's Eliza Schlesinger.
Yeah.
And she has a podcast called Ask Eliza Anything, and she loves it. She does it all the time.
Autonomous sensory meridian response.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. But anytime she takes like a sip of something, she's like, I'm going to go, never mind. You'll just have to listen to her podcast. As I just realized that our podcast can't say stuff like that.
Yeah, we are. We try to be family friendly, especially considering we represent WKYT. It
That's
seems
right.
like a bad idea to go rattling off whatever you were about to do there.
It wasn't that bad. But
Well, before we get in trouble, let's go to our interview with Mr. Adam Burniston.
good thinking.
It's
And
a quick one. I didn't realize how fast it was, but he had to go.
do the news.
He had to go do the news, and I didn't want to keep the little one out in the weather too long.
Yeah. And we've got a game on the other side. I'm so
But
excited.
we do another game. I'm very interested to see how this plays out.
Oh, gosh.
But here is our interview with Mr. Adam Burniston. Hello, everyone. We are here with Mr. Adam Burniston. Andrea, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm holding your baby, and I'm so happy.
You are holding my baby. It's a special episode where we are recording this outside. Adam, how you doing?
It's going good. Appropriate that we're outside when you're doing a meteorologist. Beautiful day, too. I mean, can't beat this weather.
Yeah, for those unaware, we were outside on the picnic table. I'm sure we'll get into it at some point, Andrea and I, when we shoot our ins and outs, but I'm taking care of a sick daughter today, but she's feeling better, but she's with me as we record this. Adam has met her before.
I've seen her a couple times, but
Yes.
it's only been for short periods when she's been in and out of the newsroom.
We'll try to limit the baby talk,
Not me.
except for Andrea. Oh, sorry.
So, Adam, you just said something about today being a pretty day. I always ask Jim this. When it's gross outside, are people meaner to you?
Yeah, I would say generally people aren't as happy with our forecast whenever it's raining all day, kind of raining all week. We usually don't. I mean, me personally, we haven't gotten too many like hateful tweets or anything. But
No, you've gotten some very loving tweets here recently. So have you, Victor.
Even though there's really nothing, you are just
right, exactly.
forecasting the weather. You're not causing it, as
Yeah.
far as we know.
A lot of people wish we could probably change the weather, but unfortunately, no control over it.
I think it's all just like an attempt to say hi and not be awkward. Is like, oh, when you gonna get rid of this rain?
Yeah.
I think they just want to like acknowledge that they know you.
Yeah, I guess it is. It's like an awkward opening, when a guy hits on a
Right.
woman. It's it's canned.
Oh, you know nothing about that, do you?
No, well, not for a long time.
Neither of you two. So much game.
Adam, so how did you get started in the industry? You were from Indiana?
Yeah, so I grew up in Indiana, kind of northeast side around Fort Wayne area, if anyone knows there. And then I went to college at Ball State University, which is down in Muncie, Indiana, just south of there. So I've been in Indiana most of my life. But then pretty much after college, I went for meteorology, got my degree in specifically that, and then another degree as well. But after out of college, I got my first job in meteorology all the way down in Louisiana. So I had quite a bit of a travel for my first job, but it was so fun being in Louisiana, kind of getting different experience of weather.
Is it just warm down there all the time? Is that pretty much? Yeah.
I mean, there's not really, like here in Kentucky, spring and summer, even fall, we have severe weather seasons. Down there, you can always have severe weather. Then you also have the hurricanes, and just flooding is a big problem down there as well. So it's a lot different climate, but at the same time, there's a lot of similarities that I could use with my expertise. So
I'm so impressed by how focused you've been, because Vera's such a good distraction and such a cutie. So let's talk about what made you want to get into meteorology in the beginning. Was this always your dream job?
I mean, everyone always has the story of when they were kids, they always thought that, like, they wanted to be a meteorology. I didn't necessarily have that idea whenever I was a kid. In fact, I always wanted to be an engineer for a while whenever I was a kid. I was always interested in weather. Like where I grew up, it was out in the country. We had cornfields all around us, what Indiana's known for. But so we had
exciting.
Right, exactly. But we had good viewing all around our house. I could see for miles. So I do remember always being outside when there were thunderstorms around. And there was one story in particular that I always think back to, of just watching out a back window of a thunderstorm, and a lightning bolt hit our swing set that was in the backyard and literally just split it into pieces all over our property.
And you saw it?
And I saw it, or I was right there by the window when the lightning bolt struck. And it was probably only a couple hundred feet out the back of our window. So just the reverb from the thunder, and it like shook the windows. It kind of terrified me, but looking back on it, it was super cool.
That is cool.
It was super cool.
Lightning struck, literally, and gave him a career.
Well, but that's the thing, though. You mentioned about being an engineer. If you're into science and stuff,
Yeah.
I mean, being a meteorologist, you get to
Right.
use all that.
Yeah, I was always fascinated by science stuff, and even if you follow me on Twitter or anything, I always get super excited about even
NASA,
space.
whenever that stuff happens, yeah. You can always
SpaceX,
joke
any
about it.
launches, I'm super into that. That's pretty much it. Besides weather, geeking out about weather, I geek out so much about anything space related.
When I was a producer, my old co-anchor was obsessed with space stories, and they do nothing for me. You know what I mean? So sometimes when I was like stacking the shows, I'd be like, there are people that care about this stuff. You're
Right.
one of them.
Yeah.
And I know Gene Burke was obsessed with it. Now, I know you kind of enjoy the whole storm chasing thing too.
Yeah. Storm chasing is super fun. Obviously, there's a lot of people that do it out in the plains where it gets really bad. But in college, we actually had a program where it was a class of storm chasing. So we literally spent 2 weeks out wherever. We pretty much forecast for severe weather. We'd go to that location and then chase any of the storms that were around, and even get set for the next day. So we were literally staying in whatever hotel, whatever city we were in close to that day. We traveled all the way south to northern panhandle of Texas. We went through Colorado, and even as far north as South Dakota. So we were pretty much all over the plains for this tornado chase or storm chase trip. And we did see some tornadoes on the trip as well.
Doing something like that, I mean, how do you stay safe?
Yeah, so obviously with it being a school organization, we took a lot of more safety precautions than what you would typically see some storm chase videos, all the extreme stuff. On the days we did see tornadoes, I mean, we're always at a safe distance, and just having an expertise in meteorology, we obviously know like safe areas, because with typically tornadic storms, there are areas where you can kind of follow along with it while still being in safe locations.
I was going to say, you can also kind of tell what direction it's heading.
Right,
and
yeah.
yeah.
Because, we have radar, and whenever we were on this class trip, we pretty much had teams. Someone was looking at radar. Someone actually had like maps, like physical maps that we would use back in the day. So
Kids, that's what we used to do.
Back in the
right,
day.
because a lot of times where we were out in the plains too, you don't really have cell reception, so you couldn't rely on Google Maps to find you the safest route out there in the plains. So we would have physical maps and actually like plan out. We have a road coming up here on the right. We need to take it, and then a left. So it was a whole team effort, but it was so good and such an experience to be able to just forecast and actually see those forecasts verify too with severe weather.
Were you at all influenced by the movie Twister? Because I feel like that created a
I mean,
whole generation of meteorologists and storm chasers.
Right. If there's a meteorologist out there that wasn't at least inspired a little bit by Twister, there may be something wrong. Just because that's an iconic movie for all meteorology. Obviously, there's some things in the movie that we always make fun of just because it's not totally accurate, but it's always with movies.
Everything's possible,
right?
In a movie.
You mean the live cow flying through the air?
Yeah, the live cow, the trying to tie down to some pipes in the ground.
Oh yeah, the pipes with the belt. You've just ruined my plan. If I ever found myself in a tornado, that's what I was going to do.
You can try it, I guess, but
it'll probably just be cut in half, is what you're saying.
Might not be the best to be in an old barn.
Yeah.
With a tornado coming over you.
Okay, I can see that. So when you started here, you you were at the morning shift right off the bat. Was that?
Yeah. So whenever I started here at KYT, it's just been over
weekends,
2 years now. I've been doing the weekend morning shift for those 2 years, and
you were stuck with me for a while.
Stuck with you and a couple other co-anchors that we had throughout those 2 years.
Was Michelle here
too.
when you first got here?
Michelle was here whenever I first started. One of my mom actually just shared a post with that first crew.
Oh yeah.
It had Emily Arroyo, Michelle. And then we kind of obviously switched teams and stuff around
Emily
on
left,
weekends.
And then Michelle became Lauren, and then Lauren left.
But yeah, now I'm eventually going to be moving to weekend evenings. I've been doing doubles on weekends for a while we kind of transition between new roles within the weather department. So
what's been some of your highlights, covering weather in Kentucky?
Yeah, I mean, Kentucky is very interesting because obviously the hills and the mountains down in southeast Kentucky make it kind of interesting because in my role too, obviously I work in the meteorology as on-air meteorologist, but I also get a report some of my time too, so I always get to cover stories on flooding, tornado damage that we've had before, even thunderstorm damage. So it's always interesting kind of being able to not only forecast weather, tell it to the community, but then also kind of see impacts that weather can bring. And I think it gives me a good, kind of a good idea of what areas kind of are impacted the most because I get to go to those areas. I was
going to say, it also helps, as a meteorologist, you're not just talking about areas that you've never been to. And whenever you're saying, this is happening here, there's a chance that you've been down there.
Right.
So,
but yeah, I mean, Kentucky makes it super interesting, especially during winter because we're right on that line between if we get ice, snow, or just rain. So.
We get all the seasons. I guess that's the other thing. As a meteorologist, you get to it's going to be in the 90s coming up, and then
we get a little bit of everything here in Kentucky.
Now I know we asked Phil about this, but you and Phil Pendleton took a trip to cover. Was it Irma?
So I've taken a couple trips in my time here. One was for Irma, which was down in Florida. I traveled down there with someone from our sister station, kind of covering the aftermath of it, and also just kind of getting that Kentucky, how they were coming up to help, or coming down there to help. And then we also, with Phil, we went out to North Carolina for a hurricane coverage while it was happening in Greenville, North Carolina. One of our sister stations out there we helped with, and we got to go to the coast and kind of see that damage firsthand and just kind of tell those stories again about Kentuckians going out there. But that was a kind of exciting experience that I got to do too, just because.
I was going to say, which as a meteorologist, getting to cover those big events, that's kind of what you're in for.
Yeah.
Were you surprised by how much passion the average viewer has for weather? Because that shocked me when I first got in this industry. It's like people watch for weather.
Yeah, it is kind of shocking. I still even am always amazed to think how many probably viewers we have. Just because being in the studio, you're just in front of cameras and you don't actually have a big audience in front of you. But it is kind of nice and surprising how many people are just so enthused with the weather around here. And it's great for us, too, as meteorologists, because that means we get a lot of pictures of any events that are happening, and that even helps us, we always say, kind of get a ground truth with storms. So because we only have a view of the radar, and sometimes viewers can even help out if they get pictures of either damage after the storms and just let us know what's happening out there on the ground.
And people don't know that, we design our shows around weather to keep
Right.
people watching. Like, I mean, that's how important it is.
Yeah, because people say they have the news on in the background. Sometimes people put it on while they're getting ready during their day, and then suddenly they hear the weather come on, and it's like, okay, let me go in and watch. And that's how important it is to people.
How important we are.
It's like, I'm just here to facilitate the time between the weather.
Yeah, exactly. Between weather and sports.
But so that's kind of, I guess, a bonus of your shift is not only do you get to do the weather, but you also get to go out and tell stories. And so that's, I don't know. I mean, that has its pluses and minuses, but
it's
pretty neat.
definitely been fun being able to tell the stories of people being impacted either by the storms or just being able to see the impacts from storms that they create. Just because, obviously, Mother Nature very powerful, so sometimes it's hard to kind of grasp what's happening out there in the real world without actually seeing it firsthand. So it's been an experience. I've been super glad about it.
You have a guest
Veer's
star
also
in your.
very excited about weather.
You have the best sound effects in your podcast for sure. Little coos and.
So outside of, sorry, I was just, she's enjoying these microphone cables too. Outside of weather, what all are you into?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, space was one. We already talked about that. But as far as hobbies, I like to get outdoors. I mean, just being outdoors is fun. We own horses, my wife and I. So she rides and we take care of a horse farm, boarding farm. And other than that, I mean, personally, I like to cycle. I like to ride bikes, kind of just down the Legacy Trail here in Lexington. That's been nice. And then I was really into ultimate frisbee in college. I played a little bit.
Oh, a little frisbee, bro.
And then I'm also
I'm so bad at that. It's so hard.
And then I'm gonna try to get into a little bit of disc golf just because I really like.
Are those not the same thing?
No, ultimate
It's
frisbee is like back and
It's
forth,
like a sport.
whereas disc golf is
golf
like
is
golf
like
with.
That's what I tried.
it's
Because
like
you
a
have to get in
different
the little
form
chain.
of golf.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's disc golf.
There's supposedly some really good disc golf courses in Lexington.
There are a lot, and we even have one. Yeah, there's tons out there in Kentucky that I've seen. A couple good ones in Lexington too, but so that's one. I'll try it out.
I think there's a good one at Lake Reba in Richmond if you ever want to go out there. And Lake Reba is really pretty, so if you want to go explore.
Yeah, I mean, I do like getting outdoors, and I've been down to the gorge a couple times for stories. Haven't been there often just to enjoy it myself, but anything outdoors is always prime.
All right, good times, Adam. Well, anything you'd like to say before we wrap up here? We know you've got some weather to go.
Yeah, we got some
cover.
more shows I got to get back to and get prepared for. So
That's the other thing. I guess a lot of people don't realize all those graphics and everything that pops
yeah.
up that you all refer to. You all do that yourself.
Yeah, we make all the graphics you see on air, update them, and a lot of times too, people are surprised. So we don't have a prompter that we read off. So we don't have like a script that we're just reading a story from. Where we actually it's almost. I always explain it's almost like a PowerPoint. We use graphics to kind of tell our weather story, and we use them as tools to kind of be able to just tell what's happening in the weather. So it is kind of interesting, and being in front of the green screen took some time to get used to at first, but now it's just second nature to me.
Yeah. Well, I will say we may have to have you as a repeat guest because we were not giving it our all. We were so distracted by Vera, and I know we would have so much fun if we could just sit and focus and talk to you, but you will have to come back at some point so that we can give this do a little more justice for Adam Burniston.
Sure.
See, this is what I'm saying. Distracted.
It's
not
also
because
Vera's
of
first
you,
podcast
baby.
experience.
Yeah,
Look, you made her
Vera.
so sad.
I'm just glad I got to do it with Vera.
There you go.
Special-
See, I was going to say,
special
how many
guest,
other people
too.
got to do their podcast
Yeah.
with Vera? Sorry. There you go. What was it like just adjusting to all the people in the newsroom? I mean, as far as because part of your show is interacting with the anchors, and then you have different people. Some people are real chatty. Some people are just kind of like, all right, thanks, Adam, and move on. I guess. What was that like?
Yeah, it is interesting kind of learning how the anchors are for the shows, just because, like you said, I mean, some anchors will talk more, some will talk less, kind of talking about weather-wise. But, I mean, you kind of get used to it in the weather world. We kind of just prepare, and it's a lot of, we're, like I said, not using script. We're kind of good at ad-libbing a lot of times with our weather, so, and just this morning, I had to do a little bit of ad-lib for our show because we had some technical difficulties.
No video, nothing was working. Like the whole overdrive. Was it because Jeff sneezed on it?
No.
No, that was a separate
just
incident.
Overdrive, something technical happened, and so I had to do about a 5-minute weather to open
Right
up the show.
at 4:30. I mean, that's our easing into the,
That's something else people may not realize. If you ever see the weatherman just talking for a long time, and it's not severe weather. If it's severe weather, it's earned. But sometimes when it's just like, oh, something went wrong, a story didn't show up. Adam, Chris, whoever's down there, just stretch. You get an extra 2 minutes suddenly. Just talk.
We're always the backup for producers whenever we need to fill time. So.
I used to do that. If I didn't have stuff, I'd be like, Shane, you got 5 minutes for weather.
We also, whenever we would work together on the weekends, occasionally I'd get messages, people telling me I was being, yep, that's what they'd say. They'd say I was being mean to Adam. You know that?
Same thing. People are always telling me that I'm mean to Adam. Like, there was one lady who came at me hard.
I do remember that.
I forced Adam. I was like, please defend me. She's never going to listen to me. She hates me.
He's just such a teddy bear. And I think,
I know.
Yeah.
We just joke around, and I think some people probably take it more seriously.
Well, that's the other thing.
I joke as hard as us.
That's the other thing, yeah. He doesn't normally give it back. He just kind of takes it. He's like, all right, guys, that's cool. And so then people just see us being mean to him, and they,
Yeah.
Have you filled in on every show now?
Yeah.
You've done every show. I was just thinking you're one of the few people that
and
probably.
Yeah, coming up over the next few weeks, I'll be doing every show within a few week time period, just because we're in between some people and people are taking vacations. So.
Low man on the totem pole.
Yeah, it's okay.
Well, Adam, you're doing a good job.
Yeah.
We appreciate you.
Thanks for having me on the podcast.
Thank you.
Well, there it was, Andrea. What'd you think of that?
Why do you always ask me? Why can't I ask you?
Okay, ask me.
There it is, Victor. What'd you think about it?
I thought it was fantastic. Adam's such a gentleman. What a good guy.
What a good guy.
He is. Well, he's my desk mate. We sit right next to each other. And,
That's true.
He was my meteorologist whenever I anchored the weekend morning show.
You all had good chemistry. That was
we
a good
did. We get along
team.
real well. So I as far as people here at the station, he's probably one of my favorites.
And like I said, we may have to bring him back eventually and do him a little better justice.
You know what? He got the
did
first
so
appearance.
Good.
Yeah, it's like he kept it concise. He may be back on at some point, but I feel like we got what we needed.
He's really not that complicated.
Just kidding.
Let's be honest.
Adam will. Well, I want to involve him in some games one time.
Ooh,
we've got
yeah.
something. We've got stuff coming up.
He's so sweet. That's why we get in trouble when we're mean to him.
Well, that's the thing. So people will see us picking on him. Like, you all need to stop picking. And it's not like Jim, where Jim, they see us pick on him. What they don't see is the behind the scenes,
Right.
where he just gives it back. Sometimes even worse.
Right.
But Adam's not like that. Adam's just kind of like, all right, yeah.
But
we'll
he
play.
appreciates it.
But
I don't
he thinks
think
it. Yeah, I think
what
he's
if
in
he
on the
goes home
joke.
and cries?
No, I think
we
you would
just
let
don't
me know.
know.
I feel like he's in on the joke, but sometimes people watching that don't see that. And so, yeah,
Right.
we would get emails occasionally, me and Lauren picking on Adam and being mean
Same.
to him. And it's like, oh, well, that's just kind of how I am with my friends.
Me too.
Yeah,
I show love through hate.
exactly. Like, my friends I pick
And
on, and the
sarcasm.
people I don't like, I generally just ignore.
Same. Exact same.
So, yeah, if I'm picking on somebody,
That's why we get along.
there you go.
All right, game time.
All right, game time. So I'm trying to come up with a good name for this game. I don't have one yet, but I'm just going to call it You Read This. So
I
I'm
did.
going to present
Oh, gosh.
3 different stories that you read.
Oh, no.
I'm going to leave a part blank, and you need to fill in the part that's missing.
Oh,
if you
this
get
is
2 out of
gonna be
3 right,
embarrassing.
then I'll consider that a win.
It's like, wait, don't tell me.
It kind of is, except you already read this. That's the point of this game.
Oh,
It's not
gosh.
like I'm asking you questions that you may have
Is it
heard
from
somewhere.
This morning?
They are all from yesterday morning.
Oh, gosh.
So,
Wise man, you didn't tell me this was coming?
no, exactly. If I told you that, you could have prepared for it. And they may come in the future, but all that would require is that you just pay attention to your stories. So, if I ever did this again, I won't tell you when.
I feel like this is a test. This isn't a game. This
It
is
is
a
a
test.
game.
This is a test.
No, this is going to be fun.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
I've got to start doing my own games, clearly.
Yeah, come up with
This
something.
is my own fault. This is punishment for not pulling my weight.
In Bourbon County, deputies are warning of a scam. They say people are claiming to be officers. They're calling people. They're asking for money and blank.
iTunes gift cards.
There you go. See?
Yes!
You're on top of that.
Because that was so dumb, and if anybody believes that, come on now.
Yeah, if people are calling for iTunes, don't give people gift cards.
Come
Just
on now.
as a general reminder, if somebody calls for Green Dot gift cards or the IRS calls you, that's not going to happen. You'll get a letter. You get plenty of time.
Yes.
All right, good job. You're 1 for 1 so
Oh,
far. See how
thank
easy that
goodness.
was?
I'm already nervous.
All right, the University of Kentucky softball team, their World Series hopes ended this weekend after a shutout loss
Oh,
to
man.
who? They were shut out for the second straight game against this team.
Washington?
Do you know the mascot?
No.
You know what? I'll take it. That's a win. The Washington Huskies. But you're right. Good job.
Yay!
Yeah, 2 for 2.
Oh my gosh.
See, you're paying more attention than you realize.
I go through my scripts. I've been really trying to be more diligent about that because I'm odd. Most people don't say things the way I would. So I have to go through and kind of put it in my words.
I'm with you. I'm like that. Like things will be written correctly, but it's just not the way I'd say it.
And that's one thing, like when producers, some take it really well, some don't. And I'm like, this is not about you. This is about me.
This is the way I phrase things.
I'm a weirdo. Like,
exactly.
I wouldn't
like
say
when
it that
people
way.
put folks in scripts, I don't say folks.
Oh, no. I do sometimes.
I switch it to people every time. Like even on the read, if it pops up and I miss it, I say people.
I think I can pull it off. I think I can pull off folks, but I don't ever say it in normal conversation.
That's my thing. I don't say it in normal conversation.
Right.
I think some people can get away. Like if it's a word you use normally, then it sounds fine. But I feel like you're attempting to be folksy.
Right.
If it's not something you normally say.
And for some people, it really sounds bad. Like I said, I'm kind of folksy myself.
I think you get away with it.
So I feel like I can get away with it. But when some people do it,
but
not that I'm better than those people, I'm probably worse than those people, which is why I can say it.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. It's just a matter of feeling natural.
Yeah, I agree.
And then, hey,
Hi,
Ray Brown. How's it going?
Hello.
You're good.
No, he's telling us to be quiet.
Oh, sorry. On the weekends, it used to be a game where they would try to put in as many folks as they could to try to get me to say it.
Rude. I caught myself saying some really annoying phrases that I hate.
Yeah, I said completely destroyed yesterday, and as soon as I said it wasn't even in the script. I was, sometimes you embellish a little bit, and I said completely destroyed.
I said switching gears. I'm like, you're so lame, Andrea. Shut up.
Yeah, I'm like, well,
That
if
means
something's
nothing.
destroyed, then it's just like there's no complete. Well, it's not half destroyed.
Right.
It's destroyed or it's not. So it's like dead body.
Yeah.
Well, so many people say dead body. It's not.
I
That
think
doesn't
dead
bother
body
me.
is okay, honestly.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I have a body and I'm alive.
I guess the thought is theoretically
If
all body. If
it'd
it's
be
a body,
person.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
I
if
mean,
it's
I
alive,
get
it's
that
not a
one, but that
body.
one doesn't bother me as much as some others.
That one's kind of just nitpicky. Mm-hmm. All right, you know what? You're 2 for 3 so far. Let's go for
I've
the
already won.
trifecta. You've already won,
Thank
but this one.
goodness.
So this was one of my
I'm
favorite
really
stories.
shocked I got the
did it on
sports one.
Friday. So
Oh, this is your story.
yes, a
This will be
veteran.
the one I miss.
A veteran honors his fallen friend over the weekend. Colin Thomas was killed in Afghanistan in 2010. Nathan Tingle, that's his friend, says he and Thomas were childhood friends. Tingle joined the Air Force, Thomas the Navy SEALs. In past years, Tingle walked from Moorhead to Louisville in Thomas's honor. This year, he swam 86 laps at Cave Run Lake. Why is he swimming 86 laps?
I know that number's significant.
Yes.
I'm getting confused because we had the Ruck March, which was
Oh,
22 miles carrying
Which
22
also important
pounds.
because, the VA says 22 veterans every day commit suicide, which is
Yeah.
just horrible.
Right.
And so that's about getting the word out. And so this Memorial Day weekend, just keeping them all in mind.
86. And I remember
86.
this, and I can't. Oh, no. I would get yours wrong.
It's connected
I feel so
to his
bad.
friend.
Well, I know that. Did he die in 86? Was he 86 years old?
No, I mean, he
86th
Sorry.
Infantry? I don't know.
No, sorry, I was laughing at the fact. No, I mean, if he was 86 years old, that'd be impressive considering this guy is the same age, and that'd be age. No, that was his high school football number.
That's right. Dang it.
Yeah.
I knew this was going to be one of those things where when I heard it, I'd be mad.
But you know what? 2 out of 3, and that was one of the favorite stories that I've done in a while. This guy has previously walked from Moorhead to Louisville in honor of his friend, and this past weekend he spent Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There's a cove in Cave Run Lake next to Cave Run Dam, and he spent it just swimming laps.
Wow.
In honor of his friend. He hoped to do 86. He said that'd be around between 28 and 30 miles. He did the math. And so he did that to get attention and to raise money for this organization, and they give money to special operators who die in combat.
Aw,
So
I see. Now here's the thing. I think if I had seen your version of the story instead of like a broken
That's true.
down
You
version
just saw
of
the
the
VO,
story,
'cause my
that
story
would
aired
have
at
stuck
6 on
with me
Friday.
more. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think if I had. Are you sure I read that one?
yes, I made sure that all of these were ones that you had read.
Oh, see, because sometimes like Bill will
I
read
know.
stories and I'm like writing a headline or
No,
doing something else, and so
I made sure I pulled ones that you had read.
I'm so sorry. I feel so bad.
That's all right. I mean, you kind of remembered it.
I remembered the story, but like I said, I got that 22
Well, there
thing
was a lot
came in my
going on
head.
with Memorial Day, and there were so many different
Oh, yeah.
events that we were
Well,
covering,
duh,
which is awesome.
I read that
the more,
story
the better.
yesterday. I was by myself.
Oh yeah. No, Kristen was with
Like,
you.
are you sure that Bill?
Kristen was with you.
Not
That's-
for, well, the 10 o'clock I did by myself. But yeah, Barb was back. You're right. I wasn't by myself most of the time.
But yeah, these are all stories you read.
Dang it.
But hey, you know what? That's a good start. 2 out of 3.
That's
feel
a
like you came
great
close.
game, actually.
So yeah.
Like, I think if I was a news director, I would pull this out every now and then and be like, for your anchors, you know what I mean? Like, are
Just
you
to
actually?
see how much comprehension
yeah.
they've got.
Are you reading ahead? Like, are you looking at your stories and really owning them? That's, ugh.
Well, but you did a good job.
Thank goodness. I was so nervous. I really was nervous.
I can tell.
Well, I know our boss listens to this, and if I didn't know the answers, he'd be like, Andrea, we need to have a discussion. Missy?
Well, I try to not pick like weird, obscure stuff that
Yeah.
was generally, and like remembering Washington. Good job.
Yeah. Like I said, sports is not my forte,
I know.
I was surprised I remembered that
All
one.
right, good job on that one. Well, Andrea, that's our latest game. I'm going to go first with my favorite thing this week.
Okay.
I have, I think I have two. I'm trying to think what was the other one.
Two
I
favorite
oh, yeah.
things.
Yeah, two favorite
Just a
things.
happy camper.
The first one is a tweet by Garrett Weimer.
Okay.
He and Adam, I guess, on Saturday? Sunday?
Is this a paper airplane?
Sunday, yes. It was National Paper Airplane Day, so they had their paper airplanes. They launched from the desk. And Adams, I guess, flew all right. But then Garrett, he goes to launch it, and it just dives straight down. And you hear it smack the desk. And he gets so sad. And he goes, Damon's the Weekend Morning producer. He's, Damon, can I try my other one? And you just hear Garrett go, oh, no, okay, all right, bye. And they just go to break it. He kind of tries to throw a second one, but it also just falls. And
Garrett.
just the sadness in his voice. I know I shouldn't laugh, but I mean, he realized how funny it was. That's why he put it out there. And so that is one of my favorite things.
I have no skills at that. Paper airplane making, never had a good.
And they switch cameras because they're expecting his airplane to go flying past the camera, but instead you just see it thunk. And so
That's awesome.
that,
I swear,
sometimes
Adam's
things don't
like
go
Captain
right.
America.
Yeah.
Right? I'm just like,
knocked it out of the park.
This guy,
It's like, look at that, boom. So that was one of
good at
them.
everything.
The second one is a party game. We went to Penny's going away party Friday
I know,
night.
I'm sorry I didn't get to go to that.
What were you doing?
Something. I think
You
I was
were
at an
watching
event.
Iron Man.
No, you're right. I was. I was such a bum that
Because you
night.
texted me about Iron Man.
Just nursing my poison ivy and watching Iron Man with my dog.
So I had recently got a party game from Amazon, but you can find it lots of places. I think Barnes & Noble has it. It's called Just One. Mm-hmm. And in it, it plays up to 7 people. One person, everybody has this little tile and a dry erase marker. And one person draws a card off the top of the stack. It's got 5 different things listed on it. They can't look at it. They show it to the rest of the people, and they pick one of the numbers, 1 through 5. So it might be like crown. That might be the word. And so then each of the other people write down a clue, one word, on their little tile while that other person is not looking. And then they all show it to each other. If any of them have written the same thing, they get canceled out.
Ooh.
So that's where the twist is, because immediately, you write crown, and suddenly people are like royalty or prince, princess, and then suddenly they hold it up and they realize, oh, we wrote the same thing. So suddenly you've only got 2 clues to pick from.
I think I'd be good at that.
It was really fun. So we played it twice, and we had a really good
I
time.
bet you and I would cancel each other out a lot. Because remember when we played, what was that game?
Codenames.
Codenames.
Yeah.
You and I were on the same page, and then
Yeah.
our partners kept throwing us off.
Matthew Rand and I canceled each other out a few times because we thought similarly. Although it worked whenever I was the one guessing, because our word was manure.
Got it.
Well, I was the one guessing, and the word was manure, and he wrote down Biff.
Biff.
From Back to the Future, he gets covered in manure. He knew that I would know it because, I've got like a Back to the Future vanity plate on my car.
And
So-
you guessed the word manure. You didn't say.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. He wrote Biff.
Oh.
Somebody else had wrote maybe like cow, and then somebody else wrote something, I forget. But because I saw Biff, I knew that it was manure specifically.
Wow.
And so I'm like, manure. And I think somebody looked at him like, Biff, what is it? And I was like, no, that's what got it.
See, I've never seen that movie either.
You've never seen Back to the Future?
No, there's so.
Andrea.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, we'll work on that. So there we go. Those are my 2 favorite things right now.
Those are both really good. I want to play
tweet,
that game.
And then Just One. I could bring it in. It's real simple.
I know, but you have to have friends.
That's true.
That's the hang up for me.
I'm going to figure out, another party at some point.
We do need to. Honestly, I still need to have people come over to my house, to the schoolhouse. I could do a bonfire.
What's the address again?
I'll keep shut up. I'll keep picking up branches so we can have us a good old bonfire.
Yeehaw. All right, Andrea. Well, do you have
Yeehaw.
anything that you're enjoying this week?
I do, actually. I just started watching a new show because Game of Thrones is over, and we're all in a deep depression because
Yep.
the last season was underwhelming.
I will say, yes, I did think it was underwhelming.
Didn't do the
Did
rest
you finish
of the
it?
series justice.
You
Yes,
finished
I
it?
finally finished it.
Okay. I think overall, it's still one of the greatest TV shows of all time.
Yeah.
The ending was obviously rushed. They should have split it before the battle with the Night King. That should have been 6 episodes. And then everything that happened after that should have been 6 episodes.
I
If
mean,
they'd
you
done
could've-
that,
I think you could have done even more. I mean, you could have stretched it out like Night King one season,
Yeah.
Cersei one season.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Danny one
260
season.
oh,
Like
yeah.
you could have done all of those, and I think then it would have.
Had more resonance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Just
just
so disappointed.
yeah, the writers at that point had the plot points from George R. R. Martin, but they didn't have the tight, character motivations, and I think that's really what.
I mean, I'm annoyed for myself, but like, I know a lot of the cast members were upset because think about how much time they devoted to that show for it to end so.
And HBO wanted more. They'd have been like, give us 10 more seasons.
Well, they said basically they offered them whatever they wanted, and they just were like, no, we got other stuff to do.
Yeah.
Star
They're
Wars.
off to make some Star Wars movies. Hopefully they don't mess those up too.
People are going to boycott them.
I mean, I was still pretty happy overall. I wasn't.
I thought it ended.
I just think overall with the series, I'm happy with it. Yeah, I mean, obviously,
It's not a happy story.
you just
and
didn't
it
get the
had a-
satisfaction like you wanted. All right, here's some spoilers. So just,
Turn it off.
well, I mean, everybody's watched it by now.
Probably.
You wanted Arya to kill Cersei.
I didn't want Cersei
wanted
to
that.
die. I wanted Cersei to win.
Well, okay, I guess we have different heroes. So that's the fact that didn't happen bothered me. Anyway, that's my biggest complaint.
I had a lot.
Okay, we'll
It's
get
just
we'll
like-
do a whole separate podcast
It's
on
like
this.
Jon Snow just randomly showing up in front of this council of people. It's like, I wanted to see the scene where Grey Worm walks up and like, what the heck did you do to our queen?
Plus, he had to tell him. That's the other thing. Jon Snow's
Yeah,
such a
because
goody
she
two
was
shoes.
gone.
She was gone. He could have been like, I don't know. She fell out a window.
I'm
They
like,
took off. She took off on the dragon.
Ridiculous. I mean,
Yeah.
technically she could still be alive. You never know.
I don't
She's
think so.
kind of magic.
I don't think. But the whole series basically boils down to the Stark men being too proud and making horrible mistakes.
Yeah.
Because they just can't suck it up.
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just, like I said, I think it was tied up with a bow too pretty at the end because that
It seemed
show.
almost like there was no, like, what was the point of him being the king if they just like, well, he's
And
gonna.
Bran, here's my problem. They're like, why do you think I came all this way, is what he said when they made him the king. And I'm like, oh, if you knew that, why didn't you warn us about all the other stuff that just happened?
Because then it might not have happened. Things might not have happened the way what happened.
Selfish.
All right. So tell us about this new show now that
Okay.
HBO's over.
Much better. Well,
Or now
actually,
that-
it's kind of dark.
HBO's basically over. Okay.
It's kind of dark, too. It's called Dead to Me. It's got Christina Applegate.
I've heard good things.
Oh, my gosh. The twists in this show you do not see coming.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
At all.
all
I
right.
can't spoil it.
Yeah,
I mean,
no.
the first episode is like a 30-minute episode, and it's great.
All right. We'll get on it.
It took two turns that I was not expecting.
I think Mandy will be
She'd
excited
love
about
it.
that.
She really would. It's
She likes Christina Applegate
delicious.
a lot. All right. Cool. Well, especially I'm real sad they canceled Santa Clarita Diet because I like that.
I don't know what that is.
They supposedly they ended on a cliffhanger. We hadn't watched the third season yet, but I don't know if I even will now.
Santa Clarita Diet?
Yeah, it's got Drew Barrymore and Timothy Olyphant.
Never even heard of it. That's
yeah.
why it's canceled.
Yeah, I guess so. There you go.
You needed to spread the word sooner, Victor.
I did a bad job. So okay, Dead to Me. That's the
It's my recommendation.
recommendation. All right. Well, I will. I'll look forward to that, and I'll give you a review once we start watching it.
Oh, you'll love it. I'm only on I just finished episode 3 last night. I'm trying to do like one a night.
That's good of you.
Doable.
Yeah, we're currently rewatching The Office. Mandy had never seen it. I didn't realize. We're watching at one point. And she says something about Jim and Pam. She's like, "Do they end up getting together?" I was like,
What?
Wait. And I realized she had never seen it. So it's been very
have you
exciting
seen
for
the
her.
British version with Ricky Gervais?
I never watched it. I know I've heard good things, but I just never. Yeah.
It's good. You need to watch it.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
I'll consider it.
I like him in spurts.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Well, we try to keep positive energy here, so that's all I'm going. I'll leave that alone. But I think with that, we're pretty much done with the podcast. Any words of wisdom for the week?
No. Don't come to me for words of wisdom. That's my word of wisdom.
All right. Well, just ignore everything Andrea has to say, and everybody, be excellent to each other. Bye.
Be best. Bye.